I'm scared of God. Is there something wrong with me? I get temptations. There's opportunity in the church, just like the rock and roll business, to sin every time. Groupies, women, seductive spirits, men and women, it's there everywhere. And I'm saying to you, I'm scared of God. But how dare I think I can commit adultery and practice it for years and God will just smile and bless me anyway. You've lost the brokenness. See, the root of that is pride. I mean, I want friends around me keep me deflated. There's enough carnality in the church to pump you up. So if I have a man who loves me, faithful of the word, so you're getting too arrogant. You're getting too haughty. You're unteachable. Let's just bow our heads together.
And you've got a new attitude, and you got so much attitude, can't nobody live with you, and you're not complimenting the man, you're competing with the man, and your whole house is in warfare, and the kids are just eating popcorn and keeping score. That's 10 up for mama. That's 10, daddy left again. There they go. They're just keeping score in a big fight, a big tournament that they now define as marriage, because what you demonstrated in front of them was dysfunction, but they have defined it as marriage, and you're too arrogant to admit to your kids, mama doesn't know what she's doing, daddy doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know how to be a good husband. I don't know how to be a good wife. I don't know how to be a good father. Create in me a clean heart and renew in me a right spirit. Teach me thy way, O Lord. Lead me in a plain path. Without God, I can do nothing. Without God, I would fail. Without God, I would be destitute. That's what we need. And as we develop this material and we develop these books and these classes and these teachings, I believe that I'm not wasting my time. I believe that God is getting ready to do something new in your life and something fresh in your life. I think there's some single people that God's going to bring you to a place of wholeness and get you ready to be in an effective relationship without a lot of baggage in you. And this is your opportunity to get rid of your idols and your images as God prepares you for something great in your life. I believe there are some divorced people, and you can't even figure out how in the world things messed up between you and who you were with. But God's getting ready to heal you and build a barrier between that was then and this is now. And God's getting ready to do something fresh in your life. And there are some married people in this room that you haven't been able to figure out why things aren't exactly the way you wanted them to be, and you just found out for the first time that God never promised you that things would be the way you wanted them to be. God is using your trouble to teach you some defects in your behavior so that you can become who you ought to be, and together you can be crafted into what God had in mind for you to be in your life. God help me preach. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 1 through 3. I'll say this and get out of your way. Paul says, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances that I delivered them to you. It's not enough for you to be exposed to good teaching if you're not going to use the teaching you're exposed to. I've almost gotten, I'll be honest with you, I'll be transparent. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it because it's true. I've gotten to the point now I almost hate counseling couples. I used to love it. I almost hate it. I almost hate it. Pray for me. I almost hate it. I almost hate it. Pray for me. I'm telling you the truth. I almost hate it. You know why? It used to be when couples came to you for help, they wanted help. But now, by the time they come to you, they have already made up their mind exactly what they're going to do, and you're the last stop before they get to the courthouse. In the final moments, just before they pull up to the judge, they say, well, let's go see the pastor. Now I got to sit up there and go through 20 years of he said and she said. Well, if that happened 20 years ago, you should have come 20 years ago. Why do you wait till the whole house is on fire and everything's burned up, and you sit up and watch it burn, and then you call the fire department? That is stupid. When you smell smoke, you should have hit the alarm right then. Don't call me now. Everything is burned up. And when everything's on fire, call the bishop. The arrogance and the pride that stops you from asking for help is burning your house down. And by the time you humble yourself to hear, everything's destroyed. And all we can do is come in and assess the damage. Because what you don't want to stop the fire, you want us to prove who the arson was. It's his fault. You see how he is. No, it's not. It's her fault. Let me tell you the part about her. I don't want to hear the part about her. You're both stupid. You waited too late. You wrecked your kids. You ruined your life. And now you got to start all over again. Nobody wins in a divorce. I don't care who gets the house. I don't care who gets the car. I don't care who gets the money. Nobody wins in a divorce. You write books, they won't read. You produce music, they won't listen to. You teach tapes, they walk past it. The only time they pay you any attention is right on the way to the divorce court. It's like somebody smoking cigarettes in the final stages of cancer. And then they find, I'm gonna try Nicoband. Don't try Nicoband now. Get you a big old stoky cigar, roll back in a smoking jacket and let her rip now. I don't have time for it. I'm busy. Don't draw me into your craziness. You and Fred gonna be crazy by yourself. Leave me alone. So me and Sarita can make it. You about to mess up my stuff, fooling with yours. Verse number 3. But I would have you know that the Bible said that the head of every man is Christ. And the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ is God. Oh, I know I'm in some trouble right now. But until you see him as head, he'll never be what you never see him to be. You have to see him as a head. A head doesn't mean that you have lesser intelligence or lesser competence. It doesn't mean that you're not a contributor. It doesn't mean that you might make the most money. It doesn't have anything to do who makes the most money, who's got the most degrees, who's this or that or the other. It has something to do with order. Somebody say order. God wants order in the house. I don't care how many people that are riding on the bus can drive the bus. They can't drive the bus at the same time. You may be a great driver, but only one of us can steer this thing at the same time. God puts order in the house, and he makes the man the head so that he might be a covering, because God thought the woman was so special that he didn't bring her into the world until everything was in place for her. You're smart. I know you're a smart woman. I know you're a bright woman. I know you're a creative woman. I know you're a gifted woman. But the Bible calls you a weaker vessel. It doesn't call you a weaker vessel because you are a lesser vessel. It calls you weaker because God created you to be fragile. Because fragile things get protected, they get covered, they get cared for, they get blessed. And even though you can bring in the bacon and fry it up in a pan, can I tell you that 25 years of bringing in the bacon and frying it up in the pan and taking out the trash will make Jill a dead girl? You need somebody who will go down to the mechanic for you and say, wait a minute, there's nothing wrong with that transmission. Oh, come on. You need, see, we got to get rid of, we got to deprogram. We got to deprogram. He covered you. There are some things my wife should never have to deal with because she has a man. Why are you dealing with this? Because the way it's being taught now, because we have replaced preachers with talk show hosts. And and we're getting all of our information from the world, we got confusion coming into our lives. And you feel like that part of being a strong woman means being out of sync in your family and in your house. And we're creating two different dysfunctions. Men are being disrespected, which gives them permission to be dogs, because you don't expect them to be accountable. You let them go. You raise them to be a dog. You made your daughter be responsible. You let your son go outside and play. You told us boys will be boys. And I want every mama in here to know that you're raising some other woman's dream or some other woman's nightmare. If you're raising a boy, you got a chance to put in him stuff that some young girl will thank you for later. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And if you didn't get it right in the first generation, you can fix it in the second generation. Give him some responsibility. Take out this trash. Straighten up your room. It's 9 o'clock. Take your hips to bed. We gotta have some order so that I can raise a man that can be strong. Well, I got news. There's getting ready to be a great awakening. I'm looking for strong men that will stand up and be accountable. I am so tired of these wimpy, jellyback, Johnny come lately, come a Sunday, miss 5 Sundays brothers. I need some steadfast men who we can count on, who will enter into his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise, who will humble themselves before God and say, teach me thy way, O Lord, who will delete your past and let God fill you with righteousness and holiness and peace and power. For now is the time for all good men to stand up on your feet and be who God had in mind for you to be. Stand to your feet. I want to tell you something, and you need to hear this today. Brothers, I don't care if both of you work, the 2 kids work, and the dog works at the car wash. The ultimate responsibility in that house rests on you. Head of the house doesn't make you the boss and the Lord and the abuser of people. It means you're a covering and a protection and a line of defense against the onslaught of life. Until you man so well your position that your daughter can't find a boy that looks as strong as her daddy. So I said, oh no, that won't do. Oh no, I'm not accustomed to that. Oh, you looking for a woman with a job so you can lay in with your cute self and collect checks? Get a boy, get a clue. You're gonna do something. You're gonna do something in this house. You may not make as much, you may not have as much, you're gonna do something in this house. And when the bill collectors call, I'm handing you the phone. Stop telling me what to tell them. Here, baby, this is for you. The next time the bill collector calls, tell Fred, say, Fred, you got a call. Hey, Fred, hold on just a moment. Fred, what are we gonna do, baby? Ask him, what are we gonna do? I'm here to help you, not carry you. What are we gonna do, baby? The principal's calling, there's a problem down at the school with Fred. They say this, and that. How are we gonna handle it? I don't know, woman, you'll go down the street and no. What do you think we ought to do? Think, engage your mind. Head, make a decision. That's what being a head means, make a decision. Now we're gonna have to practice it, ladies.